I was so used to the way my parents treated my sister that I felt almost nothing when they took her on a trip and left me home alone. I was about to move on when a person showed up and changed everything. I'm 30 years old, run a basketball performance and rehab training business, and I don't let people push me around anymore. Been married to Hazel for about a year now. She's the type who'll look someone in the eye and shut them down without raising her voice. Life's been solid. My twin sister Vanessa and I graduated high school the same day. You'd think that would mean equal treatment, right? Wrong. Vanessa was always the favorite. Perfect grades, academic awards, acceptance letters everywhere. Me, I played basketball. 4 years of 6 a.m. practices, a torn meniscus junior year, grinding it out on the court. Got myself a full-ride Division I scholarship. Saved my parents a ridiculous amount of money. Dad gave me this weak handshake. Mom said, "That's wonderful." Then they went right back to planning Vanessa's celebration party. Vanessa made valedictorian. When they called her name at graduation, Dad was taking about 300 photos from every angle you can imagine. When I walked across that stage, Connor's parents were the ones cheering. Mine didn't even glance up from their phones. The whole night was just one big Vanessa appreciation festival. Day after graduation, my parents sat Vanessa down and asked what she wanted as a gift. Just her. I was making breakfast in the kitchen and they acted like I wasn't even there. "You've earned it, sweetheart. Sky's the limit." Vanessa dragged it out, finally said, "I want tickets to the Taylor Swift era tour for me and my friends. The good seats." My parents jumped on it immediately. Laptop out, credit cards ready, looking at VIP packages. Vanessa ran upstairs screaming. Her friends showed up within the hour to celebrate. I stood there waiting for someone to acknowledge I was alive. After Vanessa disappeared with her friends, I had to ask, "Am I going on this trip?" Dead silence. My parents looked at each other. Mom cleared her throat. "Since this is Vanessa's gift, we're just paying for tickets and driving them there. We won't even be at the concert. Having you along would make it feel like a family road trip instead of something special for her." I pointed out that made zero sense. Dad jumped in. "Vanessa wants this to be her thing with her friends. You know how you two are." Yeah, I knew Vanessa needed to be the center of attention at all times. I just nodded and went upstairs. Not my style to beg, but it hurt. 4 years of hard work for basketball. Full scholarship saving them somewhere around $250,000. And they were dropping more money than I'd ever seen on concert tickets for Vanessa while leaving me home alone. Next week was everyone obsessing over the trip. I basically became invisible. Morning they left, my parents gave me the basics. $300 for food emergency numbers, lock the doors at night. Vanessa walked past me without a word. Her friends were already waiting outside in matching pink outfits. I watched them drive away from the front porch. By day 2, the house felt like mine. Connor and the guys came over. We gamed and ordered pizza. Stayed up until sunrise. It wasn't Taylor Swift, but it was freedom. Then the note showed up. Day 5, 8 a.m. Something slid through the mail slot. Envelope with no stamp. "Tucker, I need to speak with you about something important regarding your family. I knew your mother when she was young. I'll return this afternoon around 2 p.m. Please don't mention this to anyone yet." Diana. Who the heck was Diana, and what could she possibly need to tell me? Almost texted my parents, but something about the note made me hold off. 2 p.m. Exactly. Doorbell rang. Looked through the window. The woman on my porch looked exactly like my mom. Same face, same nose, same way of standing, but younger, taller, with blonde highlights. Opened the door slowly. "Tucker. I'm Diana. Norwegian accent. Definitely not from around here. You look like my mom." She flinched. "I know. That's part of what I need to talk about. May I come in?" Let her in. She looked around at the gaming setup and pizza boxes everywhere. Didn't judge, just smiled. "Your parents aren't home? Out of town with my sister. Won't be back for a few days." When I said sister, she physically winced. Not subtle at all. "They left you alone while they took both their kids somewhere." She'd almost said something else. Caught herself mid-sentence. Found myself telling her everything. The concert trip for Vanessa. My scholarship meaning nothing to them. Being left behind. She listened, and with every detail I shared. She looked more upset. When I finished, she sat quiet for a minute. Then reached into her bag and pulled out an envelope. "I came to give you something. I was planning to wait and explain properly, but after hearing this, you need it now." Handed me a check. $100,000. I just stared at it. "This is a joke, right?" "No joke, that money is yours." Consider it from someone who should have been in your life. You said you knew my mom. She hesitated. I was her childhood friend. We grew up together. Lost touch when I moved to Norway. Recently reconnected and heard you'd graduated. It sounded rehearsed. Why just me? Vanessa graduated too. I have my reasons. Please, Tucker, take the money. We talked for 20 minutes. She asked about basketball, my college plans, asked about my family in this careful way. I told her the basics. Vanessa and I didn't get along. Parents always favored her. Vanessa got the attention, the praise, the celebrations. I was the backup option. Diana's face got darker with every detail. When I mentioned how my parents didn't even look up when I walked across the graduation stage, her hands clenched into fists. When I told her about being left home while they took Vanessa to Taylor Swift, she looked sick. Diana looked like she wanted to say more. Instead, she stood up. I need to go, but please deposit that check. If you ever need anything, call me. She wrote her number on a piece of paper. Anything at all. She squeezed my shoulder and left. I sat there holding more money than I'd ever seen in my life from a woman I'd just met. Nobody had ever believed in me like that before. Not my parents, not teachers, just this stranger who looked like my mom. The childhood friend story was obviously fake. And that went when I said sister wasn't acting, but I had a problem. Parents coming home in a few days, no clue how to explain any of this. Shoved the check in my brown leather jacket pocket, the one I wore everywhere. Then threw the jacket in my laundry hamper because it needed washing. Forgot the check was still in there. Big mistake. Family got home 2 days later. Sunburned. Vanessa posted endless photos online. Nobody asked how my week went. About an hour later, heavy footsteps on the stairs. My dad opened my door without knocking. Mom right behind him. Tucker, we need to talk. Mom held up my brown leather jacket. We were sorting laundry and found something in your pocket before washing this. Pulled out the check, unfolded it slowly. Dad's face went red. $100,000 made out to you. Where did this come from? Why were you going through my pockets? Answer the question. A woman stopped by while you were gone. Said she was your childhood friend Diana. The color drained from both their faces instantly. Dad's voice came out shaky. Where is she staying? Not who is she? Not what did she want? Where is she staying? Mom whispered. How did she find you? Find me. Not visit. Find. What did you say to her? Mom's voice sounded hurt. Nothing. Just told her you weren't home. She gave me the check and left. Who is she? They looked at each other. Total panic. That money needs to be returned. Why? She gave it to me. Because it's inappropriate. You don't take money from strangers. She's your childhood friend, apparently. Unless that was a lie. Watched them struggle with what to say. Vanessa showed up, heard the raised voices, saw the check. Her eyes went huge. Is that $100,000? Dad tried moving her back out, but Vanessa pushed past him and snatched the check from Mom's hand. This is made out to just Tucker. If some random person gave our family money, it should be split. It's my money. She gave it specifically to me. Vanessa's face twisted. We're twins. We graduated together. You probably manipulated her. I met her for 20 minutes. You played the victim card. She turned to our parents. This is exactly like him. Dad jumped in. If this Diana person only gave you money, you must have said something to her. I actually laughed. You left me home alone while spending thousands on Vanessa, and I'm the one manipulating people. Mom's expression went cold. That was a gift for your sister. She got her gift. This is mine. Vanessa started yelling. You need to split that money. We're family. Dad stepped forward. You will split that money. No. Flat. Final. Done talking. Vanessa completely lost it, screaming about how selfish I was, how jealous of her success. Parents backed her up. I stood there and let them yell. Just waited. When they finally stopped to breathe, that check is legally mine. I'm 18. I can deposit it without your permission, and I'm not sharing a single dollar. Mom went ice cold. If you refuse, you can't live in this house anymore. Fine, I'll leave. They just stared. Pulled out my phone and texted Connor. Can I crash at your place until college family situation got bad? Response came back in 30 seconds. Already asked my parents. They said yes. My dad's bringing his truck in an hour. Looked back up at them. Connor's dad is picking me up in an hour. I'll be out by dinner. Mom's face shifted to panic mode. Tucker, we can talk about this. You just kicked me out. I'm respecting your decision. Vanessa actually laughed. You'll come crawling back in a month. I have a full scholarship. I'll be fine. Went to my room and started packing. Heard them arguing downstairs. Dad saying I was being immature, Mom saying they should have handled it differently, Vanessa saying I was obviously bluffing. I wasn't bluffing. Connor's dad showed up exactly an hour later, loaded my stuff in 45 minutes. My parents watched from the window but didn't come outside. Vanessa stayed in her room. Connor's dad looked at the house as we finished loading up. "You doing okay, kid?" "Yeah, I'm good." Their loss. That night, I lay in Connor's guest room and thought about 18 years spent in the wrong place. Also thought about Diana, about how my parents reacted when I said her name. The panic. They were hiding something massive. I wanted to know what. 3 days later, Diana called. Diana's voice was careful on the phone. "Tucker, I heard you left. Are you safe?" "How did you know about that?" "I've been keeping tabs. I'm sorry. I should have prepared you better. Who are you really?" Silence on the line for a bit. "Can we meet?" "There's a lot you deserve to know." Coffee shop downtown, 2 hours later, Diana was already there. Sat down across from her. "Start talking." She took a breath. "I'm not your mother's childhood friend. I'm her younger sister." That explained the resemblance. She told me she was an only child because our parents made her say that. Made me disappear after I got pregnant in college. My stomach dropped. "Pregnant with who, you and Vanessa? I am your biological mother." The coffee shop noise faded out completely. "You're lying. I wish I was." She pulled out a folder. Original birth certificate, hospital records, adoption documentation, spread the papers across the table. Saw my name, Vanessa's name, Diana's name listed as mother. "Your parents adopted you when you were 3 days old. They'd been trying for years to have kids. When I got pregnant at 19, our parents arranged the whole thing. They wanted both of us." Her face got dark. "No, they only wanted one child, specifically a daughter. But I refused to separate you. Either you both went to the same family, or I'd find someone else. Our parents pressured them into taking both of you. Everything clicked into place. Why they favored Vanessa. Why they never cared about my achievements. Why I was always an afterthought. Because I literally was an afterthought. An obligation they never wanted. They never wanted me. I'm so sorry. If I'd known how they'd treat you, I never would have let them take you both. I fought to keep you together because I thought that was best. Why give us up at all? I was 19, still in college. Our parents gave me 2 choices. Adoption or get downed completely. I wasn't strong enough to fight them." Her voice cracked. "I've regretted it every single day since. And you've been in Norway this whole time. Moved there for work after college. Met my husband Lars. We've been married 12 years. We have a son together. Your half-brother Eric, he's 10. I had a brother. An actual brother who didn't even know I existed. Why come back now? Reconnected with our parents this year. They felt guilty after all this time and gave me your address without telling Carol or Richard. I wanted to meet you, but when I saw how your parents treated you, I realized I'd made a terrible mistake 18 years ago. That explained their panic. The 100,000. An attempt to help fix something that can't be fixed. But I wanted you to have options. Sat back and let it all sink in. My entire life had been a lie. Does Vanessa know? No. I wanted to start with you. You seemed like you needed to know first. We sat in silence for a bit. Finally, what happens now? That's up to you. If you want me in your life, I'm here. If not, I'll respect that. But you deserve the truth. Thought about my adoptive parents, how they treated me my whole life, how it never made sense before. Now it made perfect sense. I want to know my brother Eric. Diana's whole face lit up. He's asked about you. I told him he had 2 older siblings. He's been dying to meet you. I'm going to college in 3 months on my scholarship. After that, I don't know where I'll be, but yeah, I'd like to get to know you and Eric and Lars. Diana squeezed my hand across the table. Thank you for giving me a chance. Spent the next 3 hours just talking. She told me about Norway, about Eric, about thinking of me every day for 18 years. I told her about basketball, about basically raising myself. Before we left, she made me promise to call if I needed anything. I promised. Connor's family made that summer feel shockingly easy. His parents treated me like I'd always lived there. No questions, no judgment, just quiet kindness. His mom packed extra food so I'd have lunch at work. His dad took me to a Blazers game and never once mentioned my family. Just basketball and greasy stadium food. Honestly felt like breathing for the first time. Diana and I talked every few days. She sent photos of Eric, updates about Oslo, little pieces of the life I should have known sooner. Lars sent a message saying any son of Diana's was family to him. Even mailed me Norwegian chocolate Freya, which instantly ruined American chocolate for me forever. For the first time, I felt wanted. not tolerated wanted. I deposited the check and saved most of it. Bought a reliable used truck that didn't stall in the rain. Started building a life that belonged to me and no one else. College started in August. Diana flew in from Norway to help me move into my dorm and brought Eric. My little brother was exactly the kid I'd imagined. Bright, non-stop questions, obsessed with basketball. "You're really tall," he said the moment he saw me. Same accent as Diana. Same curious eyes. "You probably will be too," I told him. "We're related." His whole face lit up. "We're brothers." "Yeah, kid. We're brothers." He stuck to me like glue all day. Unpacked boxes, asked about college, showed me photos of his room in Oslo with posters of Division I players. He announced he was going to watch all my games. Diana laughed. "Eric, we live in Norway. Then I'll watch online. Tucker will send me videos. Deal." He made me promise to call him twice a week. I promised without hesitation. Connor's parents helped me move in too. Took photos, brought snacks, told me they were proud. My adoptive parents didn't call, didn't text. That was fine. I didn't need them anymore. 4 years went by fast. Division I ball starting lineup, sophomore year, captain junior, and senior year. Big wins, rough losses, and more real leadership from coach than I ever got from the man who raised me. I graduated with a degree in industrial design, landed a job at a sustainable product firm, and discovered I was good at making things that worked. Diana and I grew close. She visited twice a year. I spent Christmas in Oslo one year, finally met Lars properly. The guy was everything a dad should be. Took me cross-country skiing and pretended not to laugh when I fell 50 times. Eric and I kept our twice-a-week calls. I coached him in basketball over video chat, and he made his school team at 13. Kid had real promise. I was happy. Actually, genuinely happy. Then I met Hazel. I was 26. She walked into my firm's office in a razor-sharp suit for a client meeting and immediately dismantled our lead designer's weak proposal before he finished slide 2. I was hooked in record time. I asked her to coffee afterward. She said she didn't date coworkers. I said we didn't work together. We just breathed the same office air. She laughed. "You have 45 minutes to impress me." Took me 20. Hazel's fearless. Built her consulting business from scratch. Deals with stubborn clients by glaring them into submission. Grew up with 3 older brothers who taught her to stand her ground or get buried. She was exactly the kind of person who didn't let life push her around. Shortcuts get you lost, she told me on that first date. We'd been together 12 months, living together for 6, when I proposed on a hike she'd been complaining about for a mile straight. She said yes instantly, then asked if we could go get food because she was starving. We planned a small wedding, just people who mattered. Diana, Lars, and Eric flying in from Norway. Connor as my best man, Hazel's family, maybe 30 people total at a vineyard outside Portland. Small, real hours. Hazel's sister Isabella posted about the engagement on social media, tagged us both. Posted photos of the ring, photos of us together. The post got shared around. That post reached someone I'd worked very hard to forget. 2 days after the announcement went live, my phone rang from an unknown number. I ignored it. Then came a voicemail I didn't listen to. Then a text. "Tucker, this is your father. We saw on social media that you're getting married. We'd like to talk to you about it. We should be there. Call us back." Showed Hazel the text. She read it, raised an eyebrow. "No, wasn't planning to." "Good. They lost their chance when they treated you like garbage for 18 years. They don't get to show up now that you're happy." I deleted the text and blocked the number. Should have been the end of it. Wasn't. Week before the wedding, my doorbell rang at 8 p.m. on a Tuesday. Hazel was in the shower. I opened the door without checking the camera first. My adoptive mother, Carol, stood on my porch. My adoptive father, Richard, right behind her. They looked older, tired. Carol's hair had gone completely gray. Richard had put on weight, face puffy and red. Both of them looked like people who'd stopped taking care of themselves. "Tucker." Carol's voice cracked. "You look so grown up." Hadn't seen them in 9 years. I looked different too. Taller, filled out from consistent gym time, confident in a way I'd never been in their house. An adult who'd built his own life. "What are you doing here?" "We wanted to see you, talk to you. You're getting married." Carol smiled. "Don't we deserve to be at your wedding? You deserve exactly what you gave me." "Nothing." Carol's eyes filled with tears. "We made mistakes, but we're family. Family forgives. I have family. They're flying in from Norway. You're strangers who showed up uninvited." Carol looked confused. "What are you talking about?" Diana told me everything. I know you're not my biological parents. I know you only adopted me because you had to take both of us to get Vanessa. I know you never wanted me." Their faces went completely white. "Who told you that?" "Your sister. My actual mother." That's when Hazel came out, hair still wet, wearing my old basketball jersey. Took one look at the situation and stepped up beside me. "Who are these people?" "My adoptive parents. They were just leaving." Carol ignored Hazel completely. "Tucker, please. We need to talk privately. Anything you need to say, you can say in front of my fiancé." Richard looked Hazel up and down. "Is this the girl you're marrying?" Hazel smiled. "And I expected Tucker's parents to at least be decent people. Looks like we're both disappointed." Carol turned to her. "This is a family matter. I am his family. You're trespassers who have about 30 seconds to leave before I call the police." Richard's face went red. "You can't talk to us like that." "I just did." "Clock's ticking." Carol tried once more. "Tucker, we're desperate. The house is in foreclosure. We thought maybe. You thought you could guilt me into giving you money." I actually laughed. "That's why you're really here. Not because you care, because you need cash." Richard's mask slipped. "We raised you, gave you a home. You owe us. I owe you nothing." "Diana already told me about the trust fund." Both of them froze. Carol went completely pale. "What trust fund?" Hazel asked. "The one my biological grandparents set up for me and Vanessa when we were born. The one that was supposed to pay for college. The one these two have been using to fund their lifestyle for years. I'd found out about it 6 months ago. Diana had copies of the original trust documents. Showed me how my grandparents had set aside money for each twin to be used at 18 for education. Each of us was supposed to get access to $75,000 for college expenses, books, housing, anything we needed. I'd never seen a single penny. Neither had Vanessa technically, but while I'd worked part-time jobs and lived on ramen, she'd been getting regular gifts from our parents. New laptop, spring break trips, a car, all funded from money that was legally mine too. My adoptive parents had been named trustees and had complete access, and they'd treated it like their personal bank account. Richard tried to recover. "That money was for raising you. We used it appropriately. You used it to fund Vanessa's trips and your lifestyle, while I paid my own way through college on part-time jobs. You stole from both of us. We're going to lose the house. Please, we just need help getting back on our feet. Should have thought about that before you stole from your kids." "What about Vanessa?" Richard tried a different angle. "She needs help too. She needs a reliable car for work." "Let me guess. You need money to buy Vanessa a car while your house is in foreclosure." Hazel put her hand on my arm. "Tucker, you want me to call the cops or do you want to?" Carol grabbed at my arm. "Please, we'll pay you back." I pulled away. "Get off my property. Don't come back. Don't call. If I see you again, I'm filing a restraining order." "You ungrateful," Richard started. 30 seconds. Hazel said, phone already out. "I'm counting." They left. Carol crying. Richard swearing under his breath. Hazel closed the door and locked it. "You okay?" "Yeah, better than okay." "Good. Because this isn't over." She pulled up her phone. "Your father sent me a friend request 2 days ago. So did someone named Vanessa. They've been trying to get to you through me. Block them. Already did. But Tucker, they found us once. They'll try again. Especially if they're this desperate." She was right. And it got worse faster than I expected. We didn't do a honeymoon. Decided to save it for a bigger trip to Norway later in the year. My boss called me into her office 3 days after the wedding. "Tucker, I've gotten calls from someone claiming to be your sister. She says you've cut off your family and they're worried about you. She's asking if you're okay if you're being controlled. What's going on?" Explain the basics. "Adopted kid. Terrible adoptive family cut contact years ago. They showed up demanding money, now harassing my workplace." My boss nodded. "Document everything. If she calls again, we'll handle it through legal." Vanessa called 4 more times that week, started calling Hazel's business too, left messages saying I'd abandoned my family, that I was mentally unwell, that Hazel was isolating me from everyone. Hazel recorded every single voicemail. Then Vanessa escalated to social media. Long emotional post about how I'd cut off my family after they raised me with love, how I'd stolen money that belonged to both of us, how I'd become cold and heartless. Tagged me, tagged Hazel, made it all public. Hazel made one comment before blocking her. "Interesting how the people who treated you worst are the loudest when you finally walk away." Got more likes than Vanessa's original post. My adoptive parents joined in, posted their own version, claimed they'd sacrificed everything to raise me, that I was ungrateful, that I'd abandoned them when they needed me most. Left out the part about the drained trust fund, about treating me like an afterthought my whole life. Connor called, "Dude, they're going nuclear, let them. Anyone who believes them without asking me wasn't worth keeping anyway." Diana called from Norway. She'd seen the posts. She was furious. "I can clear this up. I have documentation of everything. Don't, not yet. Let them dig themselves deeper first." I called my lawyer guy I'd worked with on contract stuff before. Explained the situation, the adoption, the trust fund, the harassment campaign. He listened quietly. "You might have a case here. If they misappropriated trust funds, that's serious. But we'd need proof. Diana has the original trust documents, bank statements showing all the withdrawals. Get me copies." Diana overnighted everything from Norway. Original birth certificates, adoption papers, trust fund documents, bank statements showing regular withdrawals starting when I turned 18. My lawyer reviewed it all. "Tucker, this is clear cut. They were trustees with legal obligation to use those funds for your education. Instead, they withdrew over $150,000 over 9 years for personal use. That's embezzlement. What are my options? Civil suit to recover the funds. But I'll warn you, courts move slow. This could take over a year from filing to final judgment. No guarantees on timeline. What would you recommend? Document everything they're doing now. The harassment, the social media campaign. Let them keep digging their hole deeper. Then hit them with everything at once." Vanessa kept up her campaign, called my gym, called Hazel's clients, left negative reviews on my company's website claiming I was unstable and unethical. Every single action documented, screenshotted, timestamped, filed away carefully. Then she made her biggest mistake. She filed a police report claiming I'd threatened her via text, submitted fabricated screenshots showing messages I'd supposedly sent, saying she better watch her back and that she'd regret what she'd done. Police called me in. I showed up with my lawyer and phone records proving I'd had her blocked for 9 years. Showed metadata on her screenshots proving they'd been edited afterward. The timestamps didn't match up. The font was wrong. The message bubbles were the wrong color for my phone model. The detective looked tired. "This report is clearly false. We'll be investigating further." My lawyer leaned forward. "Detective, my client has been harassed for months by his adoptive family. This false report is just the latest escalation. We have complete documentation of everything. We're prepared to pursue charges." The detective sat up straighter. "I'd like to see that documentation." We handed over everything. Screenshots of Vanessa's calls to my workplace, voicemails from my adoptive parents, the entire social media campaign timeline of escalation showing how it built up. "I recommend you file for a restraining order, and yes, we'll be investigating this false report thoroughly." Perfect. 2 weeks later, Vanessa got charged with filing a false police report. We filed the civil suit the next day. Breach of fiduciary duty, misappropriation of funds, sought recovery of the full trust amount, plus interest for both beneficiaries. The lawsuit became public record. Everything came out. The trust fund, the adoption, how much they'd actually stolen. Vanessa's social media support dried up immediately. Comments turned against her overnight. My adoptive parents tried to settle, had their lawyer call mine. "They're willing to return $50,000 if you drop everything. No, I want the full amount plus interest for both me and Vanessa. They don't have it. The house has more debt than it's worth at this point. Not my problem." The legal process took way longer than I expected, but it moved forward piece by piece. And every new document we pulled made things look even worse. Bank statements showed my adoptive parents hadn't just dipped into the trust occasionally. They'd been funneling money to Vanessa for years while I lived off part-time jobs in ramen. Her concert trips, trust fund money. Her car, trust fund money. Her credit card bills, magically disappearing, trust fund money. Everything I'd ever been denied, she'd been handed without a second thought. During discovery, my lawyer laid it all out. Vanessa's spring break trip to Cancun sophomore year, $4,000 straight from the trust. My laptop is too slow. Upgrade, $2,000 new internship wardrobe, $3,000. Every time I'd asked for help with basic stuff, textbooks, winter tires, they told me to budget better. Meanwhile, they were burning through trust money like it was Monopoly cash. It took over a year to reach judgment. But when it finally happened, the judge didn't hold back. We presented the bank withdrawals, the trust documents, my financial aid records showing I took out loans, and Vanessa's matching deposits. The judge skimmed everything, sighed, and said, "This is one of the clearest cases of fiduciary misconduct I've seen in years." The ruling was in my favor. Full principal for both beneficiaries plus 9 years of statutory interest and penalties more than $320,000 total. The court ordered repayment directly to me and Vanessa as the beneficiaries, with Vanessa's share reduced by what she'd already received, meaning she now owed money too. My adoptive parents didn't have it. Their house was completely underwater. They sold it, but the bank swallowed everything since they owed more than it was worth. Repayment came through wage garnishment and liquidating whatever assets they had left. They ended up in a tiny 2-bedroom apartment in a neighborhood they used to mock. No more country club, no more new SUVs every few years, no more vacations they deserved. Vanessa tried to claim she shouldn't have to pay anything back because she'd received the money in good faith. Her lawyer argued she'd simply assumed her parents were being generous. The judge didn't buy a word of it. You're an adult who benefited substantially from misappropriated funds. You're jointly responsible for repayment, so wage garnishment for her too. 25% of every paycheck until her portion was covered. Meanwhile, the criminal investigation into the false police report blew up. Detectives uncovered texts where Vanessa and my adoptive parents planned how to make me look dangerous. They'd coached her on what lies to include, even compared fake screenshots. Group chats spelled out the entire setup. They all took plea deals. 2 years probation, hefty fines, community service, and criminal records that would haunt them forever. My adoptive father got fired when his employer found out. Carol had to get a job for the first time in 25 years. Vanessa deleted every social media account and eventually moved to Arizona to outrun the fallout. I didn't celebrate. I just watched them finally face the consequences of 18 years of choices. As for me, I invested most of the settlement. Hazel and I used part of it to buy a 3-bedroom Craftsman outright. No mortgage, no debt, all ours by the time I was 29. The rest went to retirement accounts and Eric's college fund. Enough that he'll never have to worry about loans or juggling part-time jobs. He'll get the college experience I never had. He'll get a real shot, and that feels like the best use of that money imaginable. Diana tried to refuse the college fund setup, but I wouldn't let her. He's my brother. I take care of my family, Tucker. You don't have to. Yeah, I do, because that's what family does. Real family. She didn't argue after that. 6 months after everything was completely settled, I was home having dinner with Hazel when the doorbell rang. Checked the security camera. My adoptive parents on the porch. Hazel looked at me. Want me to handle it? No, I'll do it. Opened the door, left the security screen closed between us. Carol looked like she'd aged 20 years since I'd seen her last. Hair completely gray now, face drawn, and hollow hands shaking. Tucker, please. We're about to lose the apartment. Richard can't find work with the criminal record on his background check. We have nowhere to go. You had options. You chose to steal from your kids. These are your consequences. Richard pushed forward. The security screen held firm. We're your parents. We raised you. No. Diana is my family. Lars is my family. Eric is my family. Hazel is my family. You're 3 people who took a kid they didn't want and treated him like garbage for 18 years. Court-ordered repayment is the only relationship we have left. We're truly sorry. Richard's voice actually broke this time. We understand now. We were wrong about everything. You're sorry you got caught. Sorry your comfortable life fell apart. Carol pulled out her phone with shaking hands. Vanessa wanted to try one more time to reach you. Turned the phone toward me. Vanessa's face appeared on the screen. She looked terrible. Unwashed hair, puffy face, dark circles under her eyes. Tucker, I'll apologize publicly. I'll tell everyone the truth about everything. Just please help Mom and Dad. They're suffering because they stole from their children. Because they made choices and now they're facing consequences. That's how life works. Vanessa's face twisted. You have money now. You could help and you're choosing not to. You're choosing to punish us. That's exactly right. I'm choosing to protect myself and my actual family. You're not my problem anymore. I reached through the security screen and took Carol's phone hung up on Vanessa mid-sentence and handed it back. Don't come back here. You made your bed 18 years ago when you decided I wasn't worth wanting. Now lie in it. Hazel appeared beside me. He's got a wife who loves him, a biological family who chose him, a career he built himself, and peace that comes from cutting out toxic people. What do you have? A criminal record, wage garnishment, and regrets. I closed the door, locked it, and shut off the porch light. Heard them linger for a minute before the car door slammed and their headlights faded down the street. Hazel wrapped her arms around me. You good? Yeah, I said. Yeah, I'm really good. My phone buzzed. A text from Diana. Eric wants to video chat. He made his school basketball team and wants to show you his uniform. 4 years had passed since the truth came out. Eric was 14 now. Taller, deeper voice, same bright grin. I smiled. I need to take this. I called him from the couch. He popped up instantly wearing a jersey with number 23, my old number. Tucker, looking sharp, kid. How's practice? He launched into excited play-by-play. Motion offense screens cuts his first three-pointer, how his coach said his form was perfect. That's because you actually listen, I told him. Your notes are better than coach's, he whispered. Don't tell him. I gave him a few tips. Left-hand work, consistent release, staying low on defense. He absorbed everything. This him grinning on the screen, Hazel smiling beside me, was what family really looked like. People who showed up, people who cared. A message popped into the group chat from Diana. Lars wants to know if you and Hazel can come to Oslo for Christmas. His parents want to meet you. I glanced at Hazel. She nodded immediately. We'll be there. I texted back. Outside, a car drove away, my adoptive parents leaving for the last time. I didn't bother watching them go. Eric was still talking excitedly about his team. I can't wait for you to see me play someday. I'll be there for your first game, I promised. Front row. Really, really. That's what big brothers do. Hazel squeezed my knee. Diana sent hearts. Lars added a thumbs up. My real family, the one I chose, the one that chose me back. And somewhere out there, the people who'd hurt me could deal with the fallout themselves. I had a future to build with people who actually wanted me in it.